Hey friends, this video is about the anatomy of lacrimal apparatus. What is lacrimal apparatus? The structures concerned with the secretion and drainage of the lacrimal or the tear fluid constitute the lacrimal apparatus. So let's kickstart this session with the mnemonic itself. The lacrimal apparatus comprises of the lacrimal glands and the lacrimal passages. Then the mnemonic is a well-known fact that the girl with PCOS or PCOD has irregular menstruation. Here G stands for glands, P for puncta, C for canaliculi, O, there you can see a rose in it, so it stands for valve of Rosenmuller, S for sac, D for duct, that is the nasolacrimal duct, Has stands for valve of Hasner, I and M of irregular menstruation stands for the inferior meatus of nose. Now you can see the various structures of the lacrimal apparatus marked in the figure. We will discuss about it in detail later. The lacrimal glands include the main and accessory lacrimal glands. The accessory lacrimal gland in turn consists of two structures. In order to remember those structures, please keep in mind the following picture, that is a group of crows and a wolf and a ring besides it. So the accessory glands are the glands of cross and the glands of wolf ring. The cross slightly resembles the group of crows. I know it's lame, but it helps us in remembering, so that's fine. The main lacrimal gland consists of two parts, orbital part and a palpebral part. Orbital part is larger, about the size and shape of a small almond, and is situated in the fossa for lacrimal gland at the outer part of the orbital plate of frontal bone. It has got two surfaces, a superior and inferior surface. The superior surface is convex and lies in contact with the bone, while the inferior surface is concave and lies on the levator palpebrae superioris muscle. The palpebral part is small and consists of only one or two lobules. It is situated upon the course of the ducts of orbital part, from which it is separated by the levator palpebrae superioris muscle. Posteriorly, it is continuous with the orbital part. The accessory lacrimal glands are two, that is the glands of cross and the glands of wolf ring. The glands of cross are microscopic glands lying beneath the palpebral conjunctiva between the fornix and the edge of tarsus. These are about 42 in the upper fornix and 6 to 8 in the lower fornix. The glands of wolf ring are present near the upper border of the superior tarsal plate and along the lower border of the inferior tarsus. Now we will discuss in detail about other structures of the lacrimal apparatus. First of all, you can see the lacrimal gland, which is J-shaped. It is a serous gland. It is being indented by the tendon of the levator palpebrae superioris muscle. Then you can see the lacrimal ducts. Approximately 10 to 12 ducts pass downward from the main gland to open in the lateral part of the superior fornix. One or two ducts also open in the lateral part of the inferior fornix. After the lacrimal gland comes the lacrimal passages, and its first part is the lacrimal puncta. These are two small rounded or oval openings on upper and lower lids about 6 and 6.5 mm respectively, temporal to the inner canthus. Each punctum is situated upon a slight elevation called the lacrimal papilla, which becomes prominent in old age. The next part is the lacrimal canaliculi. The superior and inferior canaliculi join the puncta to the lacrimal sac. Each canaliculus has got two parts, that is vertical part, which is about 1 to 2 mm in length, and horizontal part, which is about 6 to 7 mm in length, and it lies at right angle to each other. The horizontal part converges towards inner canthus to open in the sac. The two canaliculi may open separately or may join to form common canaliculus, which opens immediately into the outer wall of the lacrimal sac. A fold of mucosa at this point forms the valve of Rosenmuller, which prevents the reflux of tears. The lacrimal sac lies in the lacrimal fossa located in the anterior part of the medial orbital wall. The lacrimal fossa is formed by the lacrimal bone and the frontal process of maxilla. It is bounded by the anterior and posterior lacrimal crest. When distended, lacrimal sac is about 12 to 15 mm in length and 5 to 6 mm in breadth, with a volume of about 2 cubic centimeters. It has got three parts, a fundus, a body and neck. Fundus is the portion above the opening of canaliculi, body is the middle part, and the neck, lower smaller part, which is narrow and continues with the nasolacrimal duct. The nasolacrimal duct extends from the neck of lacrimal sac to the inferior meatus of the nose. It is about 15 to 18 mm long and lies in a bony canal formed by the maxilla and the inferior turbinate. The direction of the nasolacrimal duct is downwards, backwards, and laterally. Externally, its location is represented by a line joining the inner canthus to the ala of nose. The upper end of the nasolacrimal duct is the narrowest part. Numerous membranous walls are present in the nasolacrimal duct, and the most important is the valve of Hasner. Valve of Hasner, present at the lower end of the duct, prevents the reflux from the nose. The tears are continuously being secreted throughout the day by the accessory and the main lacrimal glands. From the lacrimal gland, the tears flow downwards and laterally across the ocular surface. A variable amount of tears is lost by evaporation from the ocular surface. The remainder of tears flow along the superior and inferior marginal strips and collect as lacus lacrimalis in the inner canthus, from where it is drained by the lacrimal passages into the nasal cavity. About 70% tears is drained via inferior canaliculus and 30% via the superior canaliculus by an active lacrimal pump mechanism constituted by the fibers of orbicularis oculi. The main lacrimal gland is supplied by the lacrimal artery, which is a branch of ophthalmic artery, which in turn is a branch of the internal carotid artery. The nerve supply of the lacrimal apparatus can be discussed under the following headings, that is the sensory supply, sympathetic supply, and the secretomotor fibers. That is the parasympathetic supply. The sensory supply comes from the lacrimal nerve, a branch of the ophthalmic division of the fifth cranial nerve, that is the trigeminal nerve. The sympathetic supply comes from the carotid plexus of the cervical sympathetic chain, and the secretomotor fibers are derived from the superior salivary nucleus in pons. It is also known as the lacrimatory nucleus. It goes all the way to the lacrimal nerve in order to supply the lacrimal gland. In the figure, you can see the nerve supply to the lacrimal gland. It has got sensory, sympathetic, and parasympathetic supply. We will discuss the parasympathetic supply, that is the secretomotor fibers for the lacrimal gland. It originates in the lacrimatory nucleus, passes through the nervus intermedius, facial nerve, geniculate ganglion, the greater petrosal nerve, and the deep petrosal nerve, which unites to form the nerve of pterygoid canal, which is also known as the Vidian nerve. It relays in the pterygopalatine ganglion, and from there, the postganglionic fibers pass along the maxillary nerve and its second branch, that is the zygomatic nerve, zygomaticotemporal nerve, which gives a communicating branch to the lacrimal nerve, which ultimately supplies the lacrimal gland.